Our lives, which interacts with society at large, have four broad areas: family, friends, career and education, leisure and lifestyle. These spaces are filled with rules which we have neither made nor fully understand. Yet we are expected to interact with it in a fulfilling manner. The fifth space is a space which helps us understand ourselves better, which in turn leads us to understand the world we interact with better. Father Jerry is the director of Bosco Institute, Jorhat. It is an institution following the educational philosophy and approach of Don Bosco, a renowned educator of youth. It is the first institute to offer Master in Social Work course under Dibrugarh University since 2008. It goes beyond being an academic institution to being a youth space where young people are able to explore themselves, the world they live in, and find connections.
Hello, welcome everyone to our very first episode of Fifth Space Talks, and we're very excited to be bringing this to you straight from the Bosco Institute, Jorhat. Today we have with us one of the most inspirational man for all the youth workers out there, who's very, very humble yet very magnanimous, Father Jerry, and I would like to ask him to say hello to all of you.
Hi.
How are you, Father Jerry? Good. So, without any delay, we'll get into some of the questions that we have crowdsourced from you all. So, thanks for being part of this process. So, our first question is, who is the person who you admire the most and why?
Living or dead?
Yeah.
I think at the moment it's Don Bosco.
Okay.
No doubt about it, because I think all that we do, the inspiration is from him. And the more I understand him, the better I'm able to deal with youth, and the more I deal with youth, I understand what he meant by the many things he did. So I think he is a constant source of inspiration, no doubt about it.
Right. Thank you. When was the first time that you felt something is missing in your life, and then what did you do about it?
I'm not sure if I ever reached that stage where something was missing in my life. Maybe there was a time when I thought we need to do something more than what we are doing. That we are doing a lot of youth programs, a lot of activities, a lot of fun things, etc., etc. But I thought we needed to add to the element of reflection in the youth programs. Also, taken to the larger picture, it's not enough to look at the person of the youth there and then as an island, but see him in the context in which he is living, and therefore understanding what is out there. For example, the conflict situation that was happening here was very important. So it's not so much of what I was missing in my life as much as what we were missing in doing what we were supposed to do. So I think that was a...
So you're saying this with regards to Bosco or otherwise also, generally in your life?
It's regard to the work. Since we are expected to work with you, that's what we have chosen. So we all got limited to the small world of the young person alone, but not on his larger context. So that's where I thought there was something missing in our work. So we're not looking at the larger picture quite often. And even that larger picture was very limited, like employment, like getting a job. That was not enough, I thought. So getting the young people prepared to take on like what we are doing, youth leadership, change making, etc. I think was very important. That was missing. And that's the kind of thing that now I think I'm in a place where we can work towards that much stronger. We tried that when I was with the Youth Commission earlier. And I think we put in certain structures, certain things in place. But I don't know how far it, except for the peace building program. Other things I'm not too sure how far it has gone. But here I think we have a much better hold on and control. When I say control, quote unquote control over what we want to achieve. What I was missing in my life, I'm not sure. Sleep.
Have you managed some?
No way, no way. I wish I could sleep for 5 days continuously with nothing else to do. It would have been fantastic.
Okay. So in this long association that you've had with Bosco, what has been that one aha fifth space moment for you?
There was a time when one young girl came to me and said, and she just popped up in my office. I mean, I didn't have too much of contact with her at all after having met her in one program. And she comes and tells me, Father, what you said that day changed my orientation, life orientation. I even forgot what it was. All that I said was, many of us go on studying because we have nothing else to do. Or your parents are telling you go and study, but with no goal, no sense in what we are studying. But she said that statement somehow touched her because she was not sure what she was going to. So began to ask herself, what is it that I want? And then she changed her entire course of studies and what she wanted. So that was a big change. So, there are times when I sometimes ask, what is the use of saying all this to young people? It is then this comes to my mind saying, it may not strike me as meaningful at this time, they may not even show any response at this time, but it will touch someone in some way. And that makes a lot of difference. And I've seen that happen. There are statements in the common talks we make, we tell them. How people pick up those is very interesting, how they come back and say, I remember what you said that time. It has made a lot of difference. So, I think that's many aha moments.
Okay. So the next question is that what do you think is the potential and also the significance of fifth space in a conflict-ridden area like Northeast? And also, can you share some of the examples of transformation that you must have seen in your time here at Bosco?
Yeah. I think in a conflict situation, we don't have time to think about ourselves. We are constantly thinking of living the next moment, taking care of many things that happen around, whether it is family conflict, whether it is a communal conflict as it happens in the Northeast, and family conflict, I guess, is everywhere. We actually do not, we are firefighting the whole time. How do I survive this moment? About that. And most of our responses are dictated by circumstances which are beyond our control. And I think it is those moments that we need to invite young people to something that is within their control, that is their own self. So, fifth space for me is getting hold of yourself to such an extent that you are moving forward with something that you are rooted in, with not swayed by circumstances while you're trying to respond to it as meaningfully as possible, but you're not overwhelmed, you are not, whatever you want to say, but you're more or less confident about moving that I want to do the right thing and this is what I think is the right thing for me at this moment. And I think that's where fifth space is very, very powerful. And I think it's meaningful anywhere. So, because the only thing we can be sure of in our life is what? Parents change, friends change, spouses change, kids grow up. What are we sure about? The only thing that we can be sure about is ourselves. And if we can help young people to get in touch with themselves and who they are and what they are, what they want to, where they want to go to, especially when things are topsy-turvy, I think that would give them a sense of calm, serenity and surety, even when things are going wrong. That's why I think fifth space is very powerful.
Would you like to share some of the examples of students that might have passed out from here and created their own spaces?
So there is conflict in many ways. Jenpu, for example, is one of those. He's not a student here, but like he says, I'm an honorary student of Bosco Institute. He grew up in an atmosphere of conflict. And he was always responding to that conflict, whether it was the conflict at home or the conflict that was happening outside or the addiction of his brother, so much so he even wanted to run away and join the militant group till he himself says he came here for the Change Rooms interview And he was desperately in need of that fellowship because he had started a work. And then he was showing me, he was talking about his work and going on talking, and then he was taking one album to show all the photographs, newspaper cuttings. Then he took another one, and it seems, I told him, that's what he tells me, it's okay, I trust you. And that's the moment he says, something changed inside me. And he said, he went outside and said, my own people did not trust me. Here is a stranger who says, I trust you. And that made a lot of difference to him. And today, we know what he's doing. We have Hejang in Manipur, who grew up in very active conflict zone. And he also wanted to join at one moment militant groups. Who again turned around and said, no, I need to take control, I need to do something for young people around. I think, and if we were to give that space for them to let out their frustrations, anger, disappointments, etc., and then find what is beautiful inside, and that's what Big Space is all about, I guess. I think it can become a powerful resource. Not only for them, but also for the people.
Why do you think anger is important? And how have you been able to channelize it in your life?
Okay. I think today I modified this anger into a number of other things. Earlier I used to talk about anger because anger was what I banked on when I started. But today this anger has many shades like sadness, trauma, even excitement. Tremendous amount of happiness and excitement. So it's whole bundle of feelings that we are looking at. But anger particularly, because that's what young people quite often associate with, because they are angry when things go wrong, they are angry at this, angry at that, angry with parents, angry at... So fundamentally, if you were to ask what makes me angry, seriously, it's not about personality, but what happens around. I think they will find what catches their attention. Like for me, the anger moment was when I was caught by the security forces as a militant. And though I came out of that place for whatever reason soon, when I got back home and I saw the back of my knee all black and blue, that's the moment of anger. Though when I was in the camp, I was rather calm. Even when I came out, I was ready to forgive and forget about the whole thing. When I came out, I saw my leg, I was angry because I asked what happens to young people who are caught. Till then, the militancy problem was of an intellectual nature, I want to understand, etc., etc. But now it became my problem. So I began to ask, what if I was an Assamese boy, will I ever come out? And what happens to all these boys and girls who are caught as militants? For no reason of their own. Many could be like me. I had done no wrong, but I was caught as one. So that's the anger that actually made me do the research on the ULFA, start sessions on violence and youth program, which turned into peace building programs. So I think getting in touch with anger and acknowledging that anger and allowing that anger to mature into a force that can get things done positively, transform, is useful. After all, anger is energy. Energy can be used in any way, and we have given a bad name to anger because very often the result of anger is destruction. But I think it's possible with young people to channelize that anger into something that is more beautiful, very constructive, and perhaps also very surprising for adults who are watching. I think it's possible. I have seen that happening with our young people who attended our peace building program. One guy, for example, he stood in between two groups that were fighting. One group was chasing another, and he stood against his own tribe, saying, "No, this what you're doing is not right." He was angry with this group, but then he took a stand. He says, "No, this is not right."
But that's quite an interesting way of looking at an emotion, because with anger it's always said that you have to suppress it in some way, or you just don't feel it.
Yeah, that's why today I tell these social workers, you cannot be a good social worker if you are not angry. Because if you feel nothing when things are going wrong, then what are you planning? You will do nothing. Because after all, feelings are what makes you act.
The tinge of all of those feelings are very important.
Yeah, very, very essential. What makes you deeply sad? I mean, and that tells you what is it that moves you and wants to eradicate from the face of the earth, kind of a thing. For example, people who are sexually abused are deeply sad at what has happened. And I know students here who have started working on this issue because they have felt it very, very strong. They can sit and cry over that sadness, but it doesn't help. But use that sadness and get engaged, and that heals them a lot. I've seen that happen. I think and that's another reason why I'm always telling students, and also every young person, look at your feelings. Get in touch with your feelings. Whenever you encounter a new situation, whenever you're seeing something that is not proper taking place, get in touch with your feelings. What is it that you feel? And feelings have a tremendous energy. Tremendous energy.
Right. So now we move to the next question, which is very interesting. Who would you like to take out on a dinner date with you, and why?
Oh. First of all, both these things don't occur to me too often, so I'm not too sure who I will take. Not really sure, honestly. Maybe.
Come on, something was coming up.
It has to be a date. So, so that's
okay, may not be a date, but who would you like to have a good, like, say, one-on-one conversation with? A heart-to-heart conversation with?
I think among the circles that we are met in this group, someone who is so very affectionate and Ashraf. Very honest. I would love to go and sit and we have had long conversations in our home, and I would like to have
More of those.
Yes, yes.
None of us.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But if there are some from the region that I would like to go out with, would be some of my own students who are engaged in serious work. Not merely to discuss about work, but just sit and relax and share nonsense and feel good that we are together. I think that would be a wonderful thing. Yeah.
Okay. So also a lot of people want to know that what are those questions for which you are also looking an answer for?
I'm struggling with one question. The question, I think it's on my phone, written somewhere. Are human beings expected to be global or universal? So wherever you turn today, it's all my country, my nationality, my religion, my tribe, my community. And it's not today. Down through history, it has been wars for what? To expand myself. So my question when you are saying global village, etc., is it really happening? Or are we breaking apart? And should we be too worried when each group stands by themselves, my place, my this? Because perhaps human beings are not expected to be global or universal. They are supposed to be where we are. That's one level. But we also see that there are things that are done that reaches across any of these divides. People who are respected worldwide for what they have done for the rest of mankind. So this conflict and this question disturbs me a lot. How much can we say we need to be doing? After all said and done, in every circumstance, suppose there is something happen, immediately my question is, what? It turns to me and to my people, my community, my everything. I mean, so where does this universal humanity come from? And if it is so very powerful, why does it disappear so very fast in circumstances that are trying? Though we also see that there are examples where people have gone on. So this play between these two aspects is quite disturbing. And I've been asking this question myself.
I think it's also modernity which tries and shows us that it's probably possible. But yeah. Okay, and So now we have our last question, which is, what would you like to tell your younger self today? Like if you were to talk to your younger self, what would you say?
I would say don't hide yourself. Don't hide yourself behind what you think you did not have, that you did not get. Just be out there with what you have, and the rest will follow. And be a little more courageous. I think that's what I would say. Don't hide.
Would you say that to young people today?
Oh yeah, I do. I tell them, you don't have to be. What is it that I say? You don't have to be perfect to be good. Good does not mean perfect. And being not perfect does not mean you are abnormal. So I think if we hide behind saying that, oh, I am so bad, nobody should know, what will others say, etc., I think we are condemning ourselves to a lifetime of depression, perhaps.
Perpetually depressed.
Don't hide. I think that's what I would tell myself, and also use all the opportunities possible to not to shine, but to make yourself competent in whatever field possible.
Thank you so much. We
Thank
end
you.
with our questions.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining us.